This is the intro. This is a good one. Hey.
Yeah, well, I don't know if we'll ever think of it a proper intro for the channel or for these videos.
Probably not.
It'll probably just be like super awkward.
I think it works for us.
We'll just go with it.
We're awkward.
Yeah, because we're super awkward.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Welcome to the pod. Episode 2.
Yeah, episode 2. First one I thought turned out good. Oh yeah, no, I remember what the other thing actually what I was going to show you was the thumbnail thing. But hey, I'll show you that after.
Okay.
Just instead of you put the episode 1 text, you can leave this in too. But just you know how you put ep 1 on the thumbnail like in red text. I just made a thing that like you can just like it's like transparent, so you can just throw it on the thumbnail super easy. And then you can put like episode 1 there.
Yeah.
So it's like a purple thing on the bottom corner. That way it just looks kind of more like a theme thing. Anyway, but yeah, so
hi.
Hey, how's it
it's
going?
you boys.
Yeah.
I'll let you start this one off.
Oh no, I mean geez, I'm messing it all up.
Oh yeah, God.
It's me.
CCTV.
Oh wait, no, wrong intro. No, anyway, what's up, guys? Welcome to the second episode of the pod.
Yeah, and
this is a brand new thing we're doing. It's called the podcast. I know you probably haven't heard. It's like this new style of content that no one else is doing.
Yeah, we're
not like
so
there's everyone and their dog has a podcast.
But I do think our podcast is unique in the sense of the fact that we're starting this as small content creators.
Yeah.
I'm just so used to streaming. Small content creators, and are like kind of like you guys are getting a like kind of
it's kind of like it's like almost like a journal of like as our channels are growing, we do the pod on the side, kind of like a check-in, see how if we learn anything new advice or all that stuff.
Yeah,
so
whereas you see a bunch of bigger YouTubers that have podcasts. Well, like what you can kind of like what these guys, what you guys do to make it. Well, you're seeing us as we grow, like what we're doing and the steps we're taking, and
rather than just hearing like anecdotal like speech, like this is what you get. You can literally see it. So that was another thing we talked about in episode 1 was maybe doing like once a month or something, doing a channel checkup. So that will be like another thing, or just talking about maybe what's new on the channel, anything exciting. But we'll do those like once in a while, not every pod, and we'll save it for like maybe at the end or something. But yeah, no, the first thing, because we talk anyway, so we were shooting ideas that were in our minds of things we wanted to talk about. We're like, all right, let's write it down, save it for the pod. And I presented the idea of like, because lately for me, like primarily on this channel, made it doing what I kind of knew best, which was like all the horror game stuff, which is still mainly what I do. But like on my original channel back in the day when I did it like I was telling you already, but like I'll say it for the pod, like I literally started with horror games back, because like when I started my original gaming channel under the same name that I showed in episode 1 with the silver play button, literally I started it because all the people that I were watching and my favorites, that's what they were doing. So I, being like 2013, so I would have been 18 going on 19 years old. And so yeah, I was just, young, not new to YouTube by any means. Jeez, we've been on YouTube, whether it was in other friends' channels or whatever. We've been on forever. But anyway, it was like, that's what I wanted to do. So I started doing the horror game stuff. Did it for like, I don't know, a few months, and it resulted in nothing. So I was like, all right, well, what else do I like to do? Like games I like to play. And then I started introducing other stuff. And believe it or not, that's finally what kind of started taking off. And then I didn't do the horror games at all the way up until like, I'd play like once in a blue moon, I'd play like a horror game. But it was like primarily like 98% was all like survival games, like BeamNG, just random stuff. And that is what grew my channel from 0 to like 60 or like 6,600 and some subscribers. So believe it or not, most of my start was like non-horror games. And then I played a horror game because like I was always just on keeping my eye out. And then that just, really popped off and blew the channel up, doubled the size. But then I did both. Then I always kept, I shifted to bringing the horror games back because that's what everyone was wanting now, this new big audience. But then I also like kept all the fun, like survival games and things like that I enjoyed. Rather than just playing whatever I could find, I would be like, all right, now I don't need to play everything. I can just play what looks good. And so we were kind of talking about that before starting the pod and the other day about it. But it's like finding that balance of like what you want, like what games, because some games you play off screen for yourself.
Yep.
Don't really work as good for YouTube videos. Like, you know what I mean? It can, but it's a very niche thing. Like, for example, like I haven't played it in a while because I kind of played it for a while, or played it for like a long stretch and then kind of just did everything, got bored of it. But like Farming Simulator 25 or something, you know what I mean? Like, unless you're that kind of like the simulator guy, it can work. But for someone that's like doing like a horror game or even survive, like to introduce that, people are gonna be like, what? So you got to find that balance of like what works. But like lately for me, like what I've always loved is like my other favorite games that even if I wasn't doing YouTube, I love to play. It's like survival games like Long Dark and The Forest and Subnautica, Stranded Deep, Vane now is like the newest one. But yeah, stuff like that. So it's like I started introducing that on my channel. But then you have this like, and once it starts going good, you're like, all right, sweet, this is working, so I can keep doing more of this. But then you're like, you don't want to like overdo it and just start throwing all this different genre at once. You kind of got to like wade into it like it's a pool, like, you know what I mean? Because again, if you start doing a bunch of different stuff and some of it, let's say, completely flops, then you're wasting time in lack of better terms. Like you could be using that time to make videos that people do enjoy better. So it's like finding that balance.
Yeah, definitely. Like, and that's where I'm at right now, is I'm always trying to find that thing that I can, kind of stick. And like I had some luck with, Silent Hill 2, the stream and all that stuff. And, I'm doing the stream of, I feel like right now me streaming or playing the Resident Evil Requiem it's just to me right now is bad luck because everyone's playing it. So I'm a small, I'm not the first one. B, I'm not the biggest person like on YouTube. So I'm not going to be as seen as, the higher guys, which I understand. But, I feel like there's stuff that I want to do and want to try. Like I said, I'll tell you guys, I'm 31 years old. I just got my beginners.
Old fart.
Yeah, pretty much. Grays in my beard, grays in my hair. I'm gray everywhere. So I thought a cool idea is there's this simulation game that, teaches you how to drive. And I was like, well, that might be a cool idea to show people like learning how to drive at 31, and it might work, it might not, who knows? But the thing is, you have to try, and that's the main thing. Like, don't you're never going to score if you don't shoot your shot. So
take the shot.
It's like you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
The shots you don't take. Yeah.
So that's the thing. Like if you're a content creator, because like I said, this podcast is mainly for you guys to see what we're going through, but also to help, if you're a small creator or you're a viewer of small creators and, you want to see what goes into it, it's like you have to try. Because the thing I figured out, and I'm going to make a video on, is this year, starting YouTube channel 2025 was probably the best decision in my life, because it showed me dedication can, help you in many forms. Because, I went from YouTube, so then I started working out, I started eating healthier. I started, I get my license. Like there's things that I'm achieving as I'm doing this YouTube, and you guys along the way are going to see that.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing too. Like, it's like with anything, I would like to sit here and just say like, oh, just do whatever and it will work. It's like you do have to, just like if you're working a job, like if you want to get that promotion, like you got to work hard at it. So it's like YouTube's no different. I mean, it's it's better in the sense of like you can achieve your dream. Like, you know what I mean? There's so many, I mean, I guess for some people their dream might be a typical job, but like the fact with YouTube is like you can have the weirdest like hobby that you could turn into a career. But yeah, like it is not as easy as just do whatever. Like there is some science to it. Now, some people have gone way too overboard with like trying to break it down to, because at the end of the day, it can be quite simple. Like I said, there is a science, but you got to find what you like, the balance of finding what you enjoy. Because like if you're making content but you're not actually enjoying it, people can tell. So like you can, and it's okay to like we play games. So like there's games that we play where you don't know, you buy a game, it looks cool, the pictures, the Steam trailer, all of it looked good, and you play through it and you're like, wow, it was crap. But like that's okay, you know, that stuff happens. But like, yeah, it's finding the balance of like what as a whole do you enjoy doing. And like, for example, I know when I started on my original channel, like my biggest viral hits on that channel, which at this point I already had over 65,000 subscribers. I think I had like around 65,000. So I was already doing fine. Like I was like growing pretty quick. But then I played, which I'm sure anyone who watched this would know, the franchise is Hello Neighbor. I was like one of the first person to play it. And to me, like what you were saying earlier, but you got to try things, like that's true, because any of the games, and that wasn't the first one. There was a lot of games I played that just popped off, but like Hello Neighbor was like my most viral videos. It was like, I have some that hit 1 million and lots of them that had hundreds of thousands of views. But it's like my first Hello Neighbor video was no different than any other video I posted that like for the week, because I didn't know anything of it. I just played it because it looked cool, posted the video, and I was like, all right, moving on. I played like 2 other games, had people call, and even that video view-wise did like average for my channel at the time, like 10K or whatever. And I remember I got comments, people saying, hey, you should finish, try to get the ending. And I was like, all right, yeah, I'll do that. But I was like, I'll just do a stream. Like that's what was my mentality was like, well, I felt like all I could do for the video, because it was like the earliest alpha build. I was like, all right, I already did most of it, so I'll just do a stream to try to get the ending. And then that's when I knew the stream, like it popped off because I had like, I don't know, like 1,000 to 3,000 live viewers, which for me, my previous like stream numbers were like 300. But like, so I was like, oh wow, this is popping off. And then the stream VOD, I ended it, I think it had like 100,000 views or whatever, which was crazy. But then that stream VOD, like within like a week, got like 700,000 views. And that's when I realized, all right, this is popping off. And then everyone wanted me to play all the new builds that were coming out. But like, just goes to show, like you have to try different styles or maybe games, because you don't know if you might end up finding a game or a style of content that you actually like, wow, I didn't know if I would enjoy it this much, but you love doing it. So that's number one. And then, yeah, you might find something that works for you, or maybe your commentary flows better with this type of content. And then it just pops off. Like I said, I grew up, like when I was doing my YouTube channel, the inspiration was like, I grew up on like PewDiePie, Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, the Rad Brad, and all these people, like, especially like the big 3 for me were PewDiePie, Markiplier, and Jacksepticeye. But like all of them didn't have like one, you know, moment in time. It was just, they were doing their thing. Nothing really changed. And it just, boom, they found their style. And when they did, it just took off.
Yeah.
So like you definitely got to try some stuff, and try it. It's better to try it when you're earlier, like when you're a small channel, because once you start getting an established community, like unfortunately you think like, okay, I want to try some new things, exciting. And some of your audience might be okay with that. But once you establish yourself as one thing, you are going to have a large portion of your audience that's like, hey, what is this? I don't like this. Like I know, PewDiePie, I remember he talked about it on, I think it was one of his videos that I watched recently, where he this was like an old video, but he talked about how he got big off doing like the horror game stuff, and then he introduced Happy Wheels, and people hated it. People were like, why are you playing Happy Wheels? Even though like 3 episodes later, everyone switched and loved it, and it became like his other biggest series. So like you gotta find that balance, but it's tricky.
Yeah, especially like, you know, starting off now rather than, you know, when it started YouTube, whereas like, you know, a lot of people, easier to probably to find newer people, whereas now
I was gonna tell you that too. I was watching a video of like I said, all these guys when they were talking, like watching them grow, and I will say it is harder. I think we touched upon it last episode anyway, so I won't really linger on it, but yeah, it is definitely it could be more rewarding if you do achieve success now in YouTube because there's even more people. Like back in the day, if you hit 1 million subscribers, you were in like the top 10.
Yeah.
So it is more rewarding in the sense of like you could hit 1 million subscribers and earn more than ever. And it, but it's just breaking into that now. There's so much competition of people doing it. So for a small new channel, it is so difficult. But like, and this will lead right into our next topic of like, you just finding that motivation or holding on to that motivation because, we're just humans at the end of the day. So it's normal for that motivation to fluctuate. Like some days I wake up and I'm more motivated than ever. Some days I wake up and I'm still motivated, but it's like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like there are days where you're like, oh, I wish the channel was growing maybe a little faster. So it's like, you got to find ways. You can't like always just sit back. And I know some people have said like, well, let the motivation come to you. Like I don't buy that necessarily for a second. You sometimes you got to find it yourself.
Well, it's like one of the things I've been watching, and it's kind of out of our genre of what we do as content creators is I watch Diamond Gym, and it's lifting is like the toughest gym in America, whatever. But the thing that they're kind of pushing is you gotta be comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah, I mean that's true.
Because like if you're not trying, if you're staying in your little bubble, let's just say me example. If I stayed in my bubble and I was doing the same videos I was doing when I started my channel, it's like 2014, montage of
also, I mean, it's no different than like our other biggest passion, like singing live. Yeah. Like, I mean, the first time, well, I'm actually not even the first time, even the last, every time yeah. It's just a different feeling. Cause you are like, eventually you get used to it, but you still got butterflies. And like, that's what I mean. So if you let those nervousness get to you, then you will never, you know what I mean? Like I'm sure every single like band out there or they were probably nervous as freak the first time to do that. But then like, that's what it is. You got to get over that hump. And then again, once you get over that hump, it gets easier and easier as they go by. I'm sure like a lot of our reason why I think we would have the butterflies was because sometimes we'd have long gaps in between like a live show. Whereas I'm sure if you were doing it every day, then it becomes
more norm.
Pretty much. I'm sure those butterflies do fade away, but whereas it might turn into like butterflies, but of excitement. But it's no different than like, being content creating. Like you got to, at first it is going to be uncomfortable because like what we were saying literally 2 seconds ago before starting the pod is like when you're recording a video, you're like, you have the mindset of like, all right, I'm recording this for people to watch. But as you're there in the moment, you're like, no, I'm just in my room alone. Like no one's there. So you're literally just screaming like, or whatever. Yeah. My voice is messed up, by the way. I'm just getting over sickness. But yeah, you're like, or like, oh my God, guys, look at that, guys. And you're like, no one's there. So it's like, it is a funny concept.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my biggest takeaway as newer creators. Just try. You're gonna be uncomfortable. You just gotta get used to that uncomfortableness. And like even editing wise, like I still am like second guessing myself and all this stuff. But like if it doesn't feel right in the edit of like saying putting like a meme or something, don't force it because
like your first batch of videos just felt like forced. Boom. Like it didn't it just felt like meme here, edit here, like just for the sake of doing it. It didn't feel like that moment necessarily deserved or fit like an edit fit there.
Whereas my videos now is like they might have a meme here or there, like if that is because like a lot of times I'm like, doesn't need it. Like sometimes I'm like I could put one, other times I'm like it doesn't really need it.
Well, because it also is kind of per video basis. Like if you're playing a game where it's like let's say there's like a story driven game and there's like some real sad moment. It's like, oh my God, I can't believe you. And there's like, wow, edit meme.
What that will do.
Yeah. It's kind of, you kind of let the workflow like on a per video basis. Well, I mean, like you don't have to, but this is just, like I said, our experiences.
And then we'll maybe cut this. Oh gosh.
You won't cut it. You'll forget.
I do cut when I.
It's fine if you don't cut it. It's laid back anyway. We're not like lifetime pod professionals. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, like putting out content and not people's seeing it can affect everyone. Like I'll admit it can be a downer. So what I'm segueing into is, mental health for small time creators.
Let me ask you, is it and I think I know the answer, but for the pod, is it the putting out the content and let's say not getting the views? Or does that affect you? Or does putting out the content, getting some views, but not seeing any like interaction / sub growth? Which affects you more? Because I know for me, if I get a bunch of views on a video, but like there's no comments, likes, or any, like that feels almost worse. Because then it feels like people seeing your video and they're like, all right, well, that wasn't, they just, like to me, I just respond more to like, I get super happy and motivated if I see like a comment, like I got, for me, I'll say this and then I'll pass the mic over to you. But I got a comment, I already told you, but I got a comment the other day. And again, keep in mind, like what I was saying earlier, that when I was doing YouTube the first time around was in that golden days of YouTube gaming creators where that was the thing. And so I got a comment on one of my most recent videos of someone saying, they said, we're bringing back the best era of YouTube gameplays with this channel. Love the video. And to me, that was like the highest compliment ever, because that's kind of like, again, that's my thought. Is like I grew up, because I know Game Theory even made a video about our Let's Plays Dead, and they're talking about that golden era of like PewDiePie, Markiplier, and all these guys. But like, so for me to get a comment saying I'm bringing that back, that's like, I was like, yo, that's the best comment I got on this shit. Like, thank you so much. So,
yeah, I'll say like it's not seeing the. I'm trying to figure what, like, it's not the growth. It's like, even if it was criticism, even if it was like, hey, like, I know you tried something. It sucked, I'd be like, okay, well, then obviously I gotta get better. But like, you're putting out videos, like, I'll say like a lot of my videos now are usually in the double digits, which is, to me, is pretty good compared to like how it used to be, where it was like in the single digits. But yeah, you're not seeing the likes, you're not seeing the even comments, because like, well, it was like that that vlog that I did was like probably like the latest one that I had comments, and that was, holy crap, when was that, a month ago?
Yeah, it was.
And like, I know you commented, but like a random person commented that I didn't know. Which I was, and that kind of motivated me to continue, going, because like when you're putting out content and you're like, okay, well, this video actually was really good, and it doesn't get anything, and you're like, oh crap,
Well, that's the other thing with YouTube is, I've had it happen many times back in the day. The videos that I thought were like my best versus a video that I thought maybe the game wasn't as good, so my commentary didn't flow as good. Because that's the other thing with gameplays. Like, I find your commentary, it's like a two-way street. You're bouncing it off the game. So if there's like a funny part in the game, you can make a funny joke. Anyway, so yeah, it's like sometimes your best, like, you're like, you get done recording it, you're like, that was the best, that was an amazing recording session. You get done editing, you're like, all right, the editing made it even better, and you post it and it flopped. I get that all the time now. Like some of my like favorite videos on the new channel are I say flops, but just performing less than average. Yeah. Like the skin stapler, for example. That's one of my more recent videos from a week ago, and it technically performed. Like, I remember I literally posted that video. Like, I was supposed to post something else that day, and I like pushed it because I was like, no, I want to get this one out, because I'm like thinking like this is. And yeah, it performed less than average. Whereas like I played a game and literally the thumbnail, my face on the thumbnail, because I was portraying the fact that I like, what is this game? Like, it was bad. So I played a game on my channel called like Murmur or something like that. And my face is just like, Like it's like an unpleased face. And I remember posting it because I didn't like the game, but I made like funny jokes kind of going with that. I was like, all right, I'm like, it's still made for, I think you can find entertainment in my displeasure. But I thought like, all right, well, it's going to not perform good, but like whatever, you still post it. And it performed like better than a lot of mine. I'm like, what? Or like a video where you have like a technical issue and your like mic's not working, so it's like camera audio. That thing pops off. You're like, no, because now all these people are thinking this is just my,
Well, and it's like, and then you'll have like older videos. That's the thing about, consistency too, is like your older videos might eventually like randomly pop off. Like I was telling you is that what is it? Well, Chicana is one of them, 36 views with 5 likes. One of the worst boring experiences. I was like falling asleep playing that game. Another one. We'll keep this in. Where is it?
Yeah, we'll keep it in. But yeah, like I mean, I get that too. Like ones that just are pop off out of nowhere. I mean,
oh yeah,
a lot of your
Mortana's Prisoners. 50,
oh yeah, I remember you telling me about that game.
6 months ago, I played this game, guys, and it's 59 views because like it recently got like 20 some views. Even like I said, my time for bed, which still gets views to this day, is 1.8K, 18 likes, and like I'm not talking in the game. Like that's where I'm like always confused because like there's some people who enjoy watching people play games and not have commentary, but I feel awkward not saying anything, so I try to say
big time,
say something at least, because like my camera, you guys see me, like obviously I'm going to try to say that. So, but yeah, we're rambling on, but
it's
go on. Mental health. So what
pick back up there.
Yeah, we'll pick back up there because don't want to get too derailed. What are let's say, because I know what you're gonna say, but like what are some suggestions as a small creator? How will you deal with like the mental health aspect of?
All right, yeah, this will be interesting because I can speak from being there as a small channel that did get past that small channel hump, and then you can speak. Then we'll pass it back to you, and then you can speak from someone who's currently there. And I'm currently there too now, but I do have the past experience of, like I said, my first AaronSayWhat V1, if you may, did get to 141,000 subscribers within like I don't know, it was a couple of years, but anyway, so. For me, like I would say now more so than ever, but I mean, even when I started, what kind of helps if you're completely new to it is just, I guess, and that's the other thing, right? Because now there's so many people make videos about showing all the numbers. Yeah. This is how you grow, or like titling videos like, not getting any views, this is the steps you got to do. So, which is kind of a crock of crap because it doesn't work like a science. Like I said, there is luck in base. So the problem with those channels, I understand where they're coming from and they're trying to help of like, all right, here's 10 steps you do to blow up on YouTube. But then what's the word I'm looking for? Not instilling. Is it? What's the word I'm looking for?
Instilling, like you're still, or like,
yeah, like you're putting the idea. Anyway, you're putting these thoughts in people's minds of like, because then they think like, all right, if I just do this, then I'll grow. But that's not how it works. So back when I started doing it, it was a little bit easier on the old mental health because none of that was a thing. So you didn't really know any different. You kind of just knew starting out that you're like, it's a crapshoot. I just gotta, see what works. So you didn't have all these expectations other than, your favorite YouTuber you might compare yourself to or look up to. But that was different than, like I said, all these videos where they kind of act like it's just a science of like, do this and your channel will blow. But like, so now more than ever, I think the mental health thing would play more of a role into like small channels. So for me now, I kind of touched on it earlier, but like my personal thing is I just like to go back to like all my favorite YouTubers and I kind of go on nostalgia trips for me. So like if you have favorite YouTubers, go back and like watch their old videos because sometimes it's hard to see your favorite creator, especially if they're like super successful, like tens of millions of subscribers. It's hard to imagine them anything different than this person that's already established and good at what they're doing. But then you look back at their old videos and you're like, wow, they were bad. Like they literally were just like, you know, just like you could pull up a random 2 subscriber channel that's never done it before, super, you know, don't know what they're doing. And then you could pull up, like I said, your favorite YouTuber and it could be just as bad. So I do that again, just to kind of remind myself that, all right, everyone does start somewhere. And then hearing like PewDiePie or Jacksepticeye or Markiplier, I've been a long time follower. Actually, when I was doing my YouTube the first time around, and I would still consider him a friend. We haven't spoken in a while, but I remember when I was doing my YouTube thing, eventually I stumbled across the channel, and at the time he had like 60,000 subscribers, and he just instantly became my new favorite YouTuber, Corey X Kenshin, which I'm sure everyone, if anyone who sees this probably knows him because now he's a massive channel. But he still follows me on Twitter, and we used to talk all the time. Actually, as a matter of fact, I'm in a few of his videos, but I remember even that, like because watching him for so long, he definitely had a knack for it, but he was super like in his shell and kind of cringy. So like, and watching, like going back and seeing like these guys, it take them like a year or like, because the other thing I always forget because now it's not common, but like all these guys like Jacksepticeye, his whole thing was he did, and I did it too when I was like doing my thing, but 2 videos a day, every single day. So like by the time a year passed, you've already uploaded like 600 and some videos. Well, actually, technically be 730, but even that, like imagine uploading 700 videos, and like perfect example, Jacksepticeye, I think within like 400 videos, 500 videos, he maybe finally got to 1,000 subs. So it's things like that of knowing like, okay, here's a perfect example of like this guy who was getting nothing, but he believed in himself and he enjoyed doing it and kept doing it, and it worked. You know what I mean? It's kind of like I was saying about finding motivation. Like I do get the days where I was telling you, perfect example, little insight. For the past like week to 2 weeks, the channel, my channel, the growth slowed right down. Like before I was pretty much averaging like 4 to like 8 subscribers a day, which, you know, for a small channel, that's pretty good. It doesn't take you too long at that rate to get, you know, 100 new subs or whatever. So I was like, you know, I was pretty happy with that. And then like for like 2 weeks straight, it was like a slog. Like it was like 1, 0, 0. Like there'd be like 1 subscriber one day, and then I'd go like 4 days with none, or then I would lose 1 and then gain 1. Like, so I was like barely growing. And like, you know, if I'm being honest, it did, you know, affect me a little bit because I was like, oh, you know, it more was like a bumming me out. But it was like, you know, I just kept, like I said, kept my head up, watched some old videos of guys, like reminding myself that like we all start somewhere, and hearing like these guys also say how difficult it was starting out. And like I said, even just like kind of take time, even, well, for me, I got sick recently, so I still had videos to edit, but I couldn't record for like a week. And even that little time off from recording, that was another thing where sometimes you do need just like a little, take a step away, take a breather. If you have another hobby, maybe, you know, dive into that a little bit more for this time. Not to say like, don't let it affect your videos, like try to stay consistent, but like, you know, just get the videos out. And then maybe like I said, when you look back at your channel, step back, you're like, all right, you feel refreshed. And then like I said, and then so my channel had a real slow spot, and I changed nothing. No video that I uploaded since then popped off, but then I started gaining like I gained like 8 subs one day, and then it was like 6. I was like, oh, randomly it started to pop. So it's like, okay, well, it kind of just goes to show you never know. You could have a slow stretch, but it's not necessarily your fault. So it's kind of just reminding yourself of those things.
My slow stretch has just lasted months on.
I mean, your 21 subscriber slow stretch was legendary.
Yeah, it was in the history books. Okay, so what I do for, you know, the mental health aspect. Okay.
Well, I working out, by the way, and music. Hobby wise and playing guitar, those are my other 3 things that make me happy.
Yeah. I agree.
I just want to say that because I gave this long answer of like the YouTube thing. But yeah, if you have other hobbies, like for me, like working out, that makes me feel good about myself. I've been playing a lot more guitar lately because I really kind of slacked on that, getting better at it. I'm actually kind of at the point now where I feel like I'm the best I've ever been at playing guitar. And then, yeah, making music.
Yeah.
Here go.
So yeah, for me, it's just, you know, always improving on the little things, like looking at numbers. Sometimes it just can be disheartening. Like I said, like I've been in the 21 subs for so long. Now I'm at 50 subs. Like I don't really gain subs consistently. It's just usually like a blob where it's like, oh, here's subs. Like Poppy's playtime, when I played that was the big sub there. I don't, maybe got some on Silent Hill too, but no, what mainly drives me is if I can improve something, even if it's not during YouTube, like if it's like life goals. So like, you know, example, like working out. Well, I can't really do that. So I was like, okay, well, that during this stretch, even it's just been rough because it's like, well, I can't really improve working out. So what can I improve? Well, nothing really going on in my YouTube that's improving. So like, okay, what can I do? I went and got my, you know, beginners after 15 years. Yeah, 15 years because 16. Yeah. You know, so if there's even if you improve like little editing, you know, like you find like something to make it simpler, do that, you know, just all that things, like, and even like I'll always say like, sorry, the theme keeps on popping up. Even if you're mentally like it's just draining you, on just figure out something that kind of takes away that not focus, but like that strain of like, oh, you know, I'm not gaining subs, I'm not gaining any views. Well, what makes you happy? Well, like, you know, physical exertion, I'll always say to anyone, is probably the best medicine for mental health in any case, because you know you're gaining all the stresses out. So like I won't say, hey, you need to work out. I'll say it's good for you. It's probably,
for sure.
You know, like there's, because like, you know, we're getting up in age, and you know, not getting
a couple of old farts.
Not getting younger. So like, you know, try to better yourself any way you can, physically, mentally, which will help your mental, which will, you know, kind of show in your videos. Like it all kind of links together, because like I think, well, especially if depending on the game you play, like let's put that also too, is like I played a game recently, Tall Man Tapes, and it's going to be out before this, but where's one of the worst games that I played. Yeah, and you can kind of tell, because I was like, oh, I don't really know what's going on. It's cutting to random parts. So like, that could be like kind of draining, but like, don't take that to every video, every game, like, you know, or whatever you're doing as on content. Like if your content is like making food or something, you know, if one thing goes wrong, make a joke of it. Like say like, I don't know, like you burned something that you're making or whatever. Make a joke about it. Like to you know, laugh it off, and then go to the next, because the next time you're not going to burn it, you know?
Yeah. Well, and the other thing too, because like I can speak on it, is it really is this, like, I would say this mental health struggle is the hardest when you're starting out. It will dip down once you start getting some traction. And then I could see, once you're a big channel, I could see it being somewhat like I had, like I said, I don't know. I in my prime, like I said, my biggest I ever got to was 141,000, which, you know, and stay as far, you know, I never made it to 1 million or anything, but for me, that was still like pulling a couple million views a month. That was still phenomenal. Like that, you know, and not just that, but you know, things like all these much bigger YouTubers I looked up to all befriended me and we collabed. And so in all senses of my meaning, like I made it 100%. I mean, it was my full-time job at that point. And so, yeah, when I was starting out, I remember it was rough, especially in the early days of like keeping that motivation, because you want to stay consistent and you don't want your energy levels to like, or I meant your mood, I should say. You don't want to be all happy in one video and then like sad and depressing in the next. So it's hard. But then once you start getting that community and it starts building, even when you have slower months than others, because that's just normal. It's normal to fluctuate. But like, even once you have like those slow, just seeing the community come together and having people there for you and, you know, looking up to you or telling you how much you make their day. I know for myself, I was like riding high. Like I never felt better. Like, especially when I was like really hit my prime of like 20,000 subscribers onwards. That was kind of when, for me, it all started really rolling. And holy crap, people like all the fan art. And I know there was a handful of people that got AaronSayWhat tattoos. And like I said, making all these connections with YouTubers that I looked up to and enjoyed. Then you can call them your friend. I was on cloud 9. So Aaron then, you know, it's like mental health wasn't a thing. I was like, my mental health was like golden. And so then, you know, once you get like then there are little things, but then it's on you to not let it bother you or just handle it the best way. But you know, as your channel gets big, then you do have people, you know, like I did, even on a smaller scale, you know, you get some small minority of people be like, oh, you changed now that you're, you know, big, whatever happened to replying to, you know, you get those. But it's like that's where you just got to take a step back and like look at the bigger picture, be like, because it's normal for the human brain, it's so stupid, but it's normal for us to like, if you get a negative comment, you focus more on that than like the 20 positive comments. But it's like, once you learn to manage that and realize like, all right, this negative comment, the person's clearly maybe not having a good day. Like you just don't, like what I learned, just don't, like, cause I had people, cause I used to do streams too, especially when I was really, you know, had a good following, and I would do streams to basically 250 to 350 people is my average. And, you know, you get the people coming in your stream and they're like, oh, you suck, whatever. And then it's like, hey man, you know, sorry you feel that way, whatever. And then they're like, oh, sorry. You know, a lot of times they're like, oh, I didn't mean that. I'm just having a bad day. And then you just get talking. It's like, so yeah, you just don't feed into that negativity, because when I was on cloud 9 and I was so happy, my videos were never like they also went to cloud 9, because that at the end of the day, the better your mental health is for your videos, the better your videos are going to be, the better you're going to like your subscribers are going to feel. Because again, this is what I think sometimes people lose focus of. Meanwhile, it's super simple. People, every single person that goes to YouTube, they're going there for enjoyment. Usually or like same with television. Like no one turns on the TV and flicks on like YouTube or their favorite show to be like, all right, I want to be depressed now. They're like, I was having a good day, so I want to put on something sad and ruin it. No, everyone turns on YouTube and puts on their favorite creator or whatever because they want to have enjoyment. They want to feel good, laugh, whatever. So yeah, the main thing is like always keeping that in mind and just trying your best to put your best self forward, like, you know, in your videos. And that starts at, I mean, unless you're like some Hollywood actor, but if you are depressed at IRL, even if you hit record and you're like, okay, hey guys, we're going to be doing this video. If you're not truly happy, you might think you're doing a good job of putting it like acting, but no, people can see right through it. So step one, I would say for like the mental health stuff, is get yourself, whether it's through family, loved ones, religion, hobbies, anything, like get yourself in your best state first outside of YouTube, and then bring that version of yourself to YouTube, and that will make everything much better.
Yeah, true. And I think we've kind of had we were lucky at a young age posting as much as we did, because we had some interesting comments that I think kind of helped us kind of ignore, because yeah, like the top one, I'll tell you guys, like, we're PG and all this stuff, but one of the best comments I ever heard or read was, "You sound like Randy Savage taking a dump."
Bro, that was a classic. But even when I was doing AaronSayWhat, so here's a funny quick story too. So like CrayJayy knows this. I used to dye my hair. So like I've been dyeing my hair since like 2007 or 8. Anyway, and so when the whole YouTube fad back in like 2016 or 2017, where all these YouTubers, it was like the trend to dye their hair. I've been doing it the whole time on YouTube. So I used to get comments of people, because at one point I had like I used to have longer hair. So like, and I would always have it like all my long hair on one side. So I had it like dyed green, right? And I remember, because Jacksepticeye at this time had his hair dyed green. But keep in mind, like I said, and I would always, like, sometimes I'd be like, I'd laugh it off because I could even show proof. I'm like, there's me, almost a toddler, little young Aaron with dyed hair. But anyway, I'd get comments of like fat Jacksepticeye or whatever, like the funniest stuff. And it's like, and this whole time too, I wasn't even fat, but I guess because I have a bit of a chubby in my cheeks. But anyway, like I heard it all. Like I used to get like, and I would laugh them off because like because of our stuff, our exposure to like some negative comments, you learn to just laugh it off. But
best.
I heard it all.
Best thing is not to get offended, and because like a lot of these people's goals is to try to ruin your day when their day is ruined. You know what I mean? Like you were saying, like, so if they're taking the time to say these things, even though the Randy Savage one, it was true. It did sound like I was Randy Savage trying to take it dumb, but just keep moving forward. You know, shrug it off. Like that. That's why I said like this podcast whole goal is to, you know, inform the viewers and inform other small content creators that they're not alone. And that's why I said like it'd be kind of interesting to even maybe interview some small creators too, like, because like, you know, like to see what they're going through and, you know, how they're dealing with stuff, because like that's what I want this whole thing is. It's going to be a community, and I think people are seeing it with our collabs. You know, like we've kind of established that, you know, we're best friends. Like we're trying to make people to, you know, subscribe to us while we're collabing with each other, but we're just playing games and having fun together too. Like, and doing this podcast, like we're you know, best friends. Like, you know, this isn't fake. Like we could show pictures. We could show pictures of each other. I
mean, I got a comment I was going to tell you, I forgot, but someone commented on one of my videos saying you and CrayJayy would be perfect for this game. Although I don't buy the game because it's not worth it.
It's bad.
Well, I think it's like $20, but it's not a good game. I basically, my video is like, that's all I wanted to do of it. So it'd be, I would have to do the same thing I already did in my video, and it's not even worth it. So I was like, we'll collab on other stuff anyway. But I mean, cool. Even someone commented on my channel saying like, hey, you know, so like, again, it's just all about having fun, and
and I think well, I do think we're in a like unique situation, like we're not growing at the same time, but like we're doing this as best friends, growing, you know, separate channels.
Well, the other thing too that we should say is it is a pretty rare thing. Now, obviously there are other instances, but it's not every day that people can say, yeah, I have a friend that I've been friends with since we were 5 years old. Yeah. And again, like you and I have been friends our whole life, like literally our whole lives, like and then it goes even past that of like, you know, without going into details, but like, you know, him and I have been through some of the highs of highs, like, you know, moving to Toronto to further pursue our music passions and not like literally being the only one. Like we did shows. I remember our first show we did there. We didn't know a single, all this stuff of being in like, then we did shows where like people like were trying to like get up on stage, and then like my dad was in the audience and someone's soccer. Like we've been in some crazy, and then in the mall, someone trying to start fight. Like we've been there in some crazy moments. And then like some of the lowest of lows. And it's just so all of that is kind of adds to this what I think makes unique for the podcast is that we're not just like, we're both doing the YouTube thing, but it goes beyond that like so much. Like I said, we kind of we both start. That's kind of part, again, that's, I would say, another little bit of like finding motivation is if you have a friend maybe that wants to do it, like having someone, or a buddy also on your journey, whether they're supporting you or they're doing it as well alongside you, that's a huge thing. Like even working out, and I know for a lot of people, even myself, like working out by myself, I'm at the point now where I love working out, so I'll still do it by myself, but it is nice to have someone, to share the passion and hobby with.
Oh yeah. And then that was like the hardest thing for me. But then when I started doing YouTube, like that's the mindset I had. I was like, well, you're not beside me doing YouTube. So
yeah,
I had to work out by myself and I've been doing that. So it's been good. It's been good. Also like later episodes, if this does pop off more, we will go on into more detail like of our friendship, because like
oh yeah that's the thing with the podcast is like we're pretty open fellas. We're two open fellas. So I just meant for like sake of time, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and like it's more like it's a later thing we can talk about. But if people want to hear it, we have some crazy stories we could tell, like again, of just being friends and being like in some of these moments. But like with the YouTube thing, it's kind of like another thing where we're growing at different rates, but like, well, that's the other thing, having someone that's, because a little bit of competitiveness can help, believe it or not. Like, some people might not like that, but I always say we're like friendly competitive because I don't like being left in the dust. Like I don't like being last place by any means. I do have that competitive mindset, but then in the same breath, for me, I don't want to be up at the top by myself either. Like if you were to ask me like, hey Aaron, here's 1 million subscribers, and CrayJayy, like if you could have 1 million subscribers, nothing for CrayJayy, or you could have 500,000 subscribers and CrayJayy gets fine, I'll gladly take half. Like to me, that's so much more enjoyable, because like I said, it's what fun is it if you have achieved your dream, but alone, you know what I mean? I don't know, that's just me though. I know some people maybe don't care. Some people might be like, screw you, give me the 1 million. but not for me. So it's like having someone that you can, like I said, bounce. Oh, and plus like doing it together, we can bounce ideas off. He can play a game like the Tall Man tapes or whatever. He was just telling me like, don't buy it, because I almost bought it. And then he was showing, he's like, yeah. So it's like things like that can help. Or, if you have if we have like ideas, like I remember with the vlog thing, you were like, should I make a vlog with the surgery? And I was like, yeah, man, do it. And because you did it, you got that comment of, like I said, someone who's like, here's someone that wasn't a silent viewer, but now you got to put a face like, oh, there you go. You know what I mean? So
yeah, definitely. And like, support is main. Even how about this, guys? If you're listening to this podcast and you don't have the support system, we can be your support system. If
I mean, that's the other thing is, that's the other thing. We are open for like meeting some other small creators.
Yeah. And collabs with our channel, or, anything like that. That's what I want our community and this podcast to kind of be, is like, we're here for everyone. We're not selfish by any means, like,
no,
we want everyone to be as successful as ourselves. If you're a dink though, we can be dinks back, but that's about it.
No dink club. No dinks allowed.
No dinks allowed.
Yeah.
But we're getting to that point.
Yeah, we're almost at the hour. We basically kind of want to try to keep these to an hour, but again, that's more so because we can talk.
Yeah,
like if you left us unchecked, we could probably record an 8-hour-long podcast and talk and burn through all the subjects we have in mind, and then not have anything. It'd be like a 2-episode long series.
Yeah.
So the hour mark is more so that we just don't burn through everything we want to talk about. Plus, like I know for me, like I said, videos and stuff that are over an hour, sometimes it feels like it's a commitment. But like you said, that's nice about the podcast is you don't have to look at our pretty faces.
No.
You could just put it on, and if you have YouTube Premium, whatever, lock your phone, put your phone in your pocket, or have earbuds in. And just listen to the podcast, because really visually there's not.
No.
I mean, late and like maybe once the episodes we do like once in a blue moon where we do maybe a channel checkup, we might CC might edit in like maybe a screenshot or something. But like other than that, like I said, it's mostly a visual. I mean an audio experience.
I mean, like, well, what we could do, because we do this through Discord, we could just share our screen and and just go through that. And if we have like I said, if we have another small creator that wants to be interviewed or something, we can that like stuff like that. So you guys can put a face to whoever.
Or like I said, even if people have questions, post them in the comments. We can answer them in the next episode. Yeah, because that's another thing I do want to do, because there could be things that we just don't think of. Maybe someone has a different idea or insight or a question about something that we're not thinking about that. So yeah, for that'd be a great way to interact. To interact with anyone who watches, but also, like I said, maybe provide some light or any information or / advice we may have on whatever you're wondering or inquiring about.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, this whole thing is just, it's kind of like an experiment. It's a growth experiment with everyone. So like, we're trying to inform, grow, and, let you guys in and behind the curtains pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah. And another thing, like periodically, I just thought of it kind of right now too, is like maybe what we could do too is like some episodes just to make it so it's not all about algorithms, or like maybe we could do an episode once in a while where it's more focused on like the equipment required put into like to record YouTube videos. So we talk about our setups, like, all right, man, like, here's what we use to record our videos. Here's like maybe little things like this. You get this and it will streamline your work progress. Because there's been things that like little purchases that you don't think much of and you buy, you're like, why didn't I not do this sooner? You know what I mean? Like perfect ones, like my camera monopod. Like I used to stuff a tripod because I always have my desks up against my wall. Like this one is I have a big window in front of me, but I always have my desk. Obviously you don't want your desk in the middle of your room. So I'd have it, but then I had like a tripod that you couldn't open the legs anymore. So I had it like tied with like a USB cable. Anyway, and it's like, then I buy them one of those, like a monopod that can adjust with the ball end. So you can do it all different angle that you just clamp to your desk. And it's like, and now my camera sits on it perfectly level, exactly how I'm like, why didn't I not do this sooner? Same with like a power / USB port thing that clamps on your desk. So instead of running every cable down to your floor outlet, like my lights and stuff can just plug right into the desk essentially. So, but yeah, so maybe we'll do something like that one of the future episodes.
And then another thing I just thought too is, especially when maybe we could do it sooner. But it's like, if we come up on a channel that's, small, around
small channel auditing.
No, well, no, like
financial audit, but for small channels.
I'm gonna be like, oh, I found this channel that's, doesn't have many like shout outs almost.
Oh, like a spotlight, small channel spotlight. Yeah, we could do something like that.
I mean, I don't think it will mean much right now. This guy has only 200 subs. I'm at 50. He needs
You're at 50 on your channel. On this channel, it's like even less.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, but
everyone, go watch this.
But no, like if you see like a neat channel.
Well, I will say I know 2 channels that you should definitely check out: AaronSayWhat and CrayJayy.
Woo! Woo! But yeah, like I'm excited for the podcast, and eventually I feel like what we can do is put this stuff on
Spotify,
but we don't even put our music on Spotify, so that I pay for. It's nice. It's good.
I gotta do that. I gotta do that. But yeah, maybe we'll do a special out of home podcast episode too with the mics or something.
Yeah, like what we could even
Chinch.
Chinch. Yeah. I mean, Jim. You can always do it at a gym. Podcast at a gym. That'd be interesting.
Yeah. So guys, here's a tip for
well, it'd be like the spotter kind of talking or whatever, but
yeah. I'm like,
Aaron, I need help. I can't.
You're like,
So the best way to the best way to grow a channel. I can't breathe.
I'll be like, so after step 7, what you're gonna want to do, you're like,
I think we'll be more.
I'll be like, isn't that right, CrayJayy? Oh crap!
So this is how you do CPR.
All right, pivoting to the next episode of the podcast: how to do CPR as a small YouTuber. All right, cool.
Perfect time. So yeah, I edited the first episode, but now I probably won't edit as much just because I want to keep it as authentic. There was the first one. There was like a few long pauses, but this one was actually pretty good.
Yeah. I think they can be pretty authentic and real.
Yeah. So
like even if we're like, all right, stumbling into the next topic, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's raw. That's authentic.
I like your raw.
Yeah. All right, so I could take this sticky note off. We talked about all this stuff.
Yeah. We'll have to figure out what next one, but
yeah. As for the outro,
we don't have one. This is it.
No.
This is it.
So, yeah.
Bye.
Peace. Bye.